What makes him generational, at least in my humble opinion, is not only is he exceptionally talented and gifted, he's one of the hardest workers out there. Well, if I had to choose tomorrow who I want to be my quarterback to lead my NFL franchise, Will Levis or Stetson Bennett, I'm picking. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you're having a fantastic and beautiful Tuesday. If not, hope this video can make it slightly better. But in today's video, we got two updates on two of the most popular players in college football now heading into the NFL. One of those being Will Anderson Jr. We haven't talked about him at all. And the other being, come on now, say it with me now, Stetson Bennett. Now, some of you may or may not remember, we talked about Bennett about, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago? Let me check. Wait a minute, I'm tripping. It wasn't 4 or 5 days ago. It was like 8 to 9 days ago, my bad. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, we've already talked about him once already, but the one player we haven't talked about at all, and it's kind of surprising because he was the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft, is Will Anderson Jr. In my humble opinion, he was the best player in college football, not just last year, but the year before that as well. I think Will Anderson is going to be a flat-out stud for the Texans. I can't wait to get into that topic. But also, another reason we're talking about Bennett again is because he's surprising people. I'm telling y'all. I said it when he got drafted. I tweeted it out months ago. Bennett going to the Rams was one of the best pickups in the draft. It's an underrated pickup. In the NFL, the one thing I've learned over my many years is it really depends on where a certain player goes on how good they're going to be. And it's not just with the NFL, it's the same thing with the NBA. We'll see guys be a bench player averaging 2 points per game, then they go to the Miami Heat, Caleb Martin for example, and then they turn into a superstar. Well, not a superstar, but you get what I'm trying to say. Certain teams in the NFL and the NBA, they have great player development, and other teams, they do not. When it comes to the Rams and quarterbacks with Sean McVay, I think they're going to get the most out of their quarterbacks, and I think they're going to do the exact same thing with Stetson Bennett. I'm super excited to get into this video, and I think you guys have enjoyed in this offseason how we're talking about these rookies and the updates. If you're not enjoying it, hey, let me know, but I think you are. All right, Matt, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. First things first, I know it's not football related, but I gotta bring it up because this is so fascinating, at least to myself. Did y'all hear about this submarine thing where it can take tourists to the Titanic and you can view it and it costs like $250,000 a person, right? What's gone missing? And I thought this was a joke, but no, this submarine, it has people in it, and as to when I'm speaking, as to when you're watching this video, it's missing. I just have so many questions like, number one, who even is willing to pay $250K to see the Titanic? Who cares that much? 2, even if you wanted to, why would you do that? Because you know it's a major risk. And I could go on and on. Just let me know your thoughts on this down below if you heard about this or not. I think it's one of the craziest things that is currently going on right now. And the reason I'm even bringing it up is because I can already feel and sense some documentaries made on this in like 15 years on YouTube. I can already see the conspiracy theory videos coming out, man. I can smell them. I know y'all ain't here for that though. So moving along here to our first topic. Where shall we start? You know what? I say we start out with Will Anderson Jr. We haven't talked about him at all. A couple days ago in an interview, here's what J.J. Watt had to say about Will Anderson. I think Will is obviously a phenomenal player. I'm very excited to watch him grow, to watch him develop, and see what defensive coordinator Matt Burt does with him in that defense. Continuing along here, he's a freak athlete. He's already great at getting to the quarterback, and so I'm excited just to watch him develop and grow and hopefully get down there and speak with him a bit as well at some point. For me, as a pass rusher, I'm very excited to watch Will. Thought those were some interesting words from J.J. Watt and also some high praise. And now that I'm thinking about it, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think potentially Will Anderson can be as good as J.J. Watt? I know that's some high, I guess that is some high standards, but I think Will Anderson is generational. I really do. And what makes him generational, at least in my humble opinion, is not only is he exceptionally talented and gifted, he's one of the hardest workers out there. I've kept up with this guy ever since high school, and I can tell you up front, you do not have to doubt or have questions about, oh, is he going to show up and perform? No, he's going to. You better believe that. His motor is endless, and the difference with him is he's going to free up opportunities for other players because you're going to have to double Will Anderson at some point in time. Maybe not his rookie year, but by his second, third, and fourth year, you're going to have to double him. And before we move along here, here's the other thing about Will Anderson. If you've kept up with him even to the slightest bit, you know anything about his character, you know he's going to give you everything he's got. You don't have to question that when it comes to him, and I can't emphasize that enough. That is the best part about his game. In the NFL, we see these players get all this money, and they get distracted, and they don't work as hard, but with Will Anderson, that ain't going to happen. And I've taken a look at about 3 or 4 other articles, and they're all saying the same thing. Will Anderson, he's looking good. The only thing that stuck out to me is that one article did say his quote-unquote explosiveness is sticking out. But I wasn't too thrilled when I heard that because I know he's explosive. It doesn't shock me. Maybe that's just because I've kept up with him ever since he was in high school, but yeah, this dude's explosive. It shouldn't shock you. If you are shocked about how explosive Will Anderson Jr. is off the ball, well, that tells me you haven't been paying attention to him for years. That's all I got to say about that, and I want to keep this short and sweet, and I know you probably wanted me to talk about him some more, but hey, just like they say, sometimes no news is good news. And that's going to be the remedy of Will Anderson's career. He's not going to be in the NFL news and headlines a lot because he stays to himself and just plays football. He's not looking for attention. He's not looking for off-the-field problems. He just wants to dominate. And to a lot of people out here, that's boring. They want drama, and you're not going to see it with Will Anderson. I'd actually be shocked if we even talk about him again this offseason. There's not really too much to say outside of the fact that everybody in the organization, they're complimenting him and saying, yeah, he's looking good. I wish I could tell you more, but that's all there is to it. Now, heading into our last topic, what's going on with Stetson Bennett? Well. We meet again, Bennett. I'm just playing. Y'all know I got a soft spot for old DoorDash. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. The more we talk about him, the more I'm starting to like this kid. My bad, he ain't a kid. This dude's got a 401k and 2 mortgages. My fault. This grown man. I'm so used to calling these rookies and all these college players kids because they're like 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. Then I forget that Stetson Bennett's pushing 30. But moving along here, the last time we talked about him, and we're going to pick up right where we left off, everybody was praising him. He was making some unreal throws, and I'll show you some of the video clips again to give you a refresher. Fast forward in time to our current date and time with the OTAs and minicamp coming to an end. Check out what the head coach, Sean McVay, had to say about Bennett now. I've been really pleased with him. The one thing that stands out is when the ball is in Stetson's hands, the game makes sense to him. He's got a good feel for being able to get through progressions quickly. He stays nice and steady, doesn't get too high or low, and he's fun to be around. What do y'all think about that? I do gotta say, that sounds exactly like Bennett to me. On a serious note, as much as people like to make fun of DoorDash Bennett for, oh yeah, you know, he's like 35 years old. Oh, yeah, he's older than the competition. Of course, he should have dominated college football. Yada, yada, yada. Once you get past that part, which I've gotten past because now he's one of the youngest guys in the NFL, once you get past all that BS and you actually take a look at him as a quarterback, he's pretty dang good. Once you take a look at Stetson Bennett, how he plays the game, he does look pretty smooth out there. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. He's a poor man's version of Johnny Manziel. He just is. The way he played at Georgia last year reminded me of Johnny Manziel. And to top that off, he even tried doing his best Johnny Manziel impersonation. After winning the championship, he got arrested. And I also believe that Bennett is somewhat comfortable with going to the Rams because there's no expectations. And we all know this. When you're an athlete and there's no expectations and no pressure, that's when you perform your best. But check out what Matt Stafford had to say about Bennett so far, and it's some more good words. He's done a great job. Though it's a lot for a young guy to process and a lot to learn, he's done a great job. He's got great athleticism, throws the ball well, and does a lot of things really well. I'm happy for him. Now I know what everybody's going to say. They say it time after time, oh, Matt, well, what do you expect? Do you expect the quarterback and the coach to say bad things about him? And no, I do not. But at the same time, I genuinely believe, and you've seen the video clips of him at the OTAs, that people are impressed with Bennett. And I don't want to see anybody acting like I haven't been in this dude's corner because I've been advocating and trying to tell people the past couple of months he's going to be a good backup in the NFL. And I think for his ceiling, he could be a bridge quarterback who could start a couple of games and win some games. Am I going to go as far as saying he could lead you to a Super Bowl? He could be a franchise guy? No. I'm not comfortable with saying that at this current moment in time because I got to see how he plays. But I am comfortable with saying he's a solid backup. And that's very good for the Rams because we all know old Matt Stafford's getting pretty dang old and he's having all these injury problems. I could easily see Stetson Bennett coming into some games, possibly winning a few and maybe retaining that starting job while Stafford's hurt. Now that's all ifs, ands, and buts. I don't want Matt Stafford to get hurt, but more than likely he'll miss a couple of games. It's a 17-game regular season. I'm willing to bet that Stafford misses at least 2 or 3. Maybe he doesn't though, but let me ask you a question. What do y'all think? Do you think Bennett could even win a game as a starter? Do you think I'm giving him too much credit? Let me know. I'll put it this way, and I think this is a great conversation to have. Will Levis got drafted with the first pick in the second round, the 33rd overall selection, right? Well, if I had to choose tomorrow who I want to be my quarterback to lead my NFL franchise, Will Levis or Stetson Bennett? I'm picking Stetson Bennett. And to me at least, it's not even that hard of a decision. People just have a hard time trying to give him credit because their first impression of him at Georgia was, oh yeah, this guy's terrible and he gets carried by a great defense. And yes, that was the case the first couple of years, but last year, it was not. It was not the case whatsoever. Stetson Bennett balled out when they needed him the most. You on the DoorDash hype train or not? Let me know your thoughts down below, but